Hi everyone, I'm Utkarsh, coming to you from Singapore, and this of course is the Epiphone Tony Iommi SG Custom. This guitar is brand new. I literally got it like a couple of hours back. The reason I wanted to put out a review of this as opposed to the many other guitars I have is because I think reviews for this particular model are fairly rare to find. And even when I was doing some research not that I needed to do much research, I wanted to get this guitar, but I couldn't really find that many videos, so I felt that there is a need for people to know more about this. So as you would know if you're watching this video, this is a limited edition. It is the Tony Iommi signature. It comes with the certificate with a signature on it. Essentially, it's the Epiphone version of Gibson's SG. Few things that are a little bit different, and what attracted to me beyond just the fact that it was a Tony Iommi signature. Of course, ebony fretboard with 24 frets, which is pretty cool. I think all my guitars typically have 22 frets, so having the 2 extra is not bad. But the ebony fretboard was something that was quite important to me. So that's the reason why I wanted an SG. I wanted a black SG with an ebony fretboard, and this was the only way I could get it. Gibson, as you might know, has stopped making ebony fretboards. They only make They only make it out of this new material called Richlite. So you can't really get it unless you buy something secondhand. What else about this guitar? Other thing that I really like about this guitar is, of course, that it comes with Gibson pickups. These are the Tony Iommi signature pickups, and they do have a definite sound about them. I mean, typically I thought this would just be very similar to another hot Gibson pickup, like maybe a 496 or a 500, but there's a distinct difference. What can I say? It has a certain weight to it. It's cliche to say it, but it does have that Tony Iommi tone that you would expect. I don't know how to describe. Maybe I'll compare it with my standard Les Paul or something later, that you can actually tell the difference. Otherwise, fairly bog standard, typical Gibson layout with the 4 2 tones, 2 volumes. The switch is of course located over here on the SG as opposed to here on the Les Paul. Gloss black in color. The neck is not very slim. Actually, I expected it to be quite slim. But it's not. It's somewhere in the middle. So I guess this would be probably not as slim as I don't know what it officially is. I'll have to probably check the website. But I would say it feels reasonably chunky. It's not really that thin. It's obviously not like my traditional Les Paul, which has a 50s rounded neck, but it's a good size. The tuners are tulip shaped. I don't think these are Grovers, but yeah, they are tulip shaped, so that's rather nice, rather than having the rounded shape that you typically get on Epiphones. And yeah, that's pretty much it. In terms of playability, I would say this is definitely a step above what most Epiphones play like. I still have my first electric guitar, which was an Epiphone Les Paul Standard, and this plays much better. I mean, there's a distinct difference in playability between Gibsons and Epiphones. There's a lot of debate about why Gibsons are better, blah blah. Are they worth the money? I'm not going to get into that, but the point is the playability of Gibsons typically is much better than what I get from my Epiphones. This one is better. I would say it's not really as nice as maybe my Les Paul or the Explorer that I have, but it's pretty damn good. I mean, for most purposes, it's more than good enough. The one gripe that I do have is that it's kind of and actually this was mentioned on another review of an older Tony Iommi signature. The fretboard on this guitar has stained my fingers black, so I don't know why. There was some. I was watching a video by Bob Taylor from Taylor Guitars, and he was talking about how there was a shortage of supply of ebony in the world, and typically nowadays Taylor basically bought over a company that is extracting ebony in Africa, and they decided that they're going to release both pitch black ebony as well as ebony with streaks in it, because people were cutting down the trees that had ebony with streaks in it just to get the pure black ebony streaks. So I'm guessing maybe this is a not pure black ebony fretboard dyed. Maybe that's why I'm getting this. I don't know. We'll have to look it up. But it's not nice to get this. Otherwise, silver hardware. It's got the standard Epiphone headstock, which is very different from most Gibson headstocks. And yeah, that's pretty much it. In terms of, let's see, what other criteria do you think of? In terms of value for money, I think this is fairly decent. This comes, I think, at the equivalent of about 800 US. It's about the same in Singapore, which is about almost 1100 Singapore dollars. Another thing that I didn't like is that it doesn't come with a hard case. And in fact, my shop didn't have one in stock, so what I did is I got the gig bag. But I really wish at the price that is coming, it should come with a hard case. That's one piece, but I guess that's how they keep the price limited to price to the level that they want to. I think they're going to make 2,000 of these, both right-handed and left-handed. Of course, they have to make left-handed ones. It's Tony Iommi's guitar. So yeah. So what I'll do now is I'll play through a few sounds. I mean, you already heard Paranoid and Spiral Architect earlier. What I'll do is I'll just put something on my looper. I'm just going to put a clean tone, play a little bit of slightly slow guitar leads on top of it. Then I'll put a more rhythmy tone and I'll play slightly faster stuff on top. And hopefully that gives you a sense. What I'll also do is right at the end, I'll play both Paranoid and Spiral Architect on my Les Paul so that you can kind of get a sense of how it compares. Because I guess the Les Paul tone is kind of a very standard tone that you can just, you can compare on top of. So hopefully that helps you. Just before I get started on that, let me tell you what I'm running this through. So I'm running this through the clean channel of my Marshall DSL-15. It's set on the half power mode because of course this is my bedroom. I'm running it through that. The distorted tone that you heard earlier was from my Wampler Pinnacle. What I've also done is added a little bit of reverb from TC Electronic Hall of Fame. And earlier the clean tone that you heard did have some chorus built into it, and that was from the TC Electronic John Petrucci Dreamscape, so that you just know what sounds are coming from. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the backing track in the neck pickup, just straight through to the Marshall with just a bit of reverb, just to give it a bit of weight. And for the lead over here, I'm going to use the plimsoll because I think that gives it a very nice light OD, which is good for light leads. So here we go. I'm going to do both the neck pickup first, and then I'll move to the bridge just to feel it. So moving on to a slightly dirtier run. So what I just did is I just recorded the rhythm section of Paranoid, which I'll use as a backing track, and I'll try and do the Paranoid solo, but I haven't done that in years, so please do not be harsh. It's just for fun. The rhythm section is recorded on the Wampler Pinnacle, and on the bridge pickup. What I'll do for the lead is I'm going to add in the plimsoll. It adds a little bit more saturation for the leads. So here goes. Before we get into comparing this with the Les Paul, a couple of other things that I just wanted to point out. One was the actual weight of the guitar. It's not as light as you might expect. It is much lighter than a Les Paul or even my Explorer, but it's reasonably weighty. So, no, if you are a fan of, if you don't like very light guitars, you'd like this. Other piece, an important one. One of the very nice things that you get with this is, of course, the certificate of authenticity that has Mr. Tony Iommi's signature. Let me just open this up. Nice leather booklet. It has a picture of the man himself, and more importantly, there's a certificate, and that's his signature. So yeah, I guess that's fairly cool. I mean, it's not the reason to, perhaps it is the reason to buy the guitar for some people, but even if it's not, it's good to have the signature of probably the man who invented the genre. So yeah. And of course, now here's the comparison with my Les Paul. This is a 2014 Les Paul Traditional. I just played a little bit before I started recording this, and immediately there's a huge difference in the sound. I don't know if it'll come through the camera, but it doesn't have the same, I don't know, I'm not a very musical person, but it doesn't have the same chug, I guess. So I'm going to do Paranoid as well as Spiral Architect, and hopefully you can tell the difference. I'll also do a bit of a jam on the same E minor progression that I did earlier, so that you get some sort of idea as well. Sorry, that was on the wrong pickup. That was on the neck. Sorry, now it's on the bridge. Alright, I hope that was useful. Yep, that was another cut, since I'm not very good at doing this. So lastly, as I said, I'm going to compare the lead tone of the Les Paul. I'm going to do it over the same clean backing track that I did for the SG, only of course I'm going to do it with the Les Paul. I just recorded it already. I just decided to do both the Les Paul and the SG one after another so that you can hear the difference. So here goes. I'll start with the neck and then I'll move on to the bridge. Again, just the plimsoll and a bit of reverb. Bridge. Now moving on to the SG. I'll start with the bridge first because that's what you just heard of the Les Paul, and then I'll go back to neck. just for fun, let's just add in a bit more distortion, you know. Alright, so there you have it. The Epiphone Tony Iommi SG. Overall, very nice. Maybe a bit rough around the edges. Sorry. Let's switch that off. Maybe a bit rough around the edges, but overall, well, seems pretty good. Almost as good as a Gibson. And hopefully that doesn't start some kind of comments war. Alright, so this is Utkarsh coming to you from Singapore. I have a fair few more guitars, so let me know if you would like to see a review of them. A couple of rare ones would be the Explorer that you might have seen in the other video. That's a Gibson ShredX Explorer with an ebony fretboard. It was one of Gibson's 2008 Guitars of the Month. I also have the Dave Murray, which is the Iron Maiden guitarist, Stratocaster, so that's an unusual one. So in case you'd like to see a quick review of that, nothing very professional, but just for fun, let me know. Alright, have a good day.